Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how I go about making my embeds for my bath bombs and my soaps. I'm going to be using this strawberry mold that I got from Amazon, and I also got this heart mold from Amazon. It's really good for especially Valentine's Day is coming up, so you can make a lot of these little hearts in one go. They weren't too expensive. I want to say that they were probably about $5 to $10. You get two of the strawberry molds whenever they get shipped, and then you get only one of these molds. And I had ordered them with a couple other molds, like an owl mold and a few other ones. So the soap that I'm using today is a melt and pour base soap, Stevenson's Personal Care. It's the Organic Oils melt and pour soap base. It does really well. It melts quickly. And the finished product of the soap, when you touch it, you can feel the oils in it. So I really like this type of melt and pour soap. I also have a couple of other larger cases of the shea butter and then the olive oil soap from the Stevenson. I'm going to be using the rose essential oil that I used in my bath bomb video from Candle Science, and also my strawberry shortcake fragrance oil from Candle Science. And for both of these, I'm going to be using the red liquid vibrant soap dye from Candle Science as well. I really from all of the suppliers that I've tried, I really like Candle Science. They have a facility near me in Durham, North Carolina, and so if I want to, I don't have to pay for shipping. I can just go to their facility, pick it up, and I don't have to pay for anything else. I also got 2 pouring pitchers from Candle Science. I'm going to be using my laser thermometer. Since I'm from the States, I'll be doing it in Fahrenheit, but I'll also show you guys the Celsius also. A spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol. This is a 91%, and I got it at Walgreens. You can buy them in the spray bottles, and also you can get the larger bottles of rubbing alcohol to refill those. In the strawberry molds, I'll be using chia seeds that you can find pretty much in almost any grocery store, and that gives it kind of the effect of actual seeds in the strawberries. So I've already pre-cut some of the soap base, so I'm just going to add this into my pouring pitcher. And this first one, I will be doing the rose, and I'll be using it on the hearts. And they don't take much to fill up the hearts, so you don't have to put too much in the pouring pitcher. So I'm going to go ahead and melt this real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it only took about 40 seconds for the entire batch that I had put in here, and it equaled out to about 100 milliliters or 4 ounces of the soap base. So it's very quick at melting, and whenever you melt and pour soap base, usually you need to do it at 30-second increments, and then if that hasn't melted, you can put it in for another 30 seconds, and then it should be melted by then. If not, take it out and stir it around for a little while and put it in for another 30 seconds. If you're unsure and you don't want to get it too hot and burn it because it will kind of discolor the soap, you can do it for 10-second increments and then take it out and stir it around until it's fully melted down. So what I'm going to do is, since there's bubbles on top of the melt and pour soap, and I don't know if you can see it, there's little bubbles in there. So you just spray it with isopropyl alcohol, and then I'm going to take the temperature of it, which is 162.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and I don't know if you can see that. There's glare, really bad glare, which is 71.8 degrees Celsius. And it's horrible. Looking at this, I don't know if I can make it any better for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the colorant, and then once it gets down to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to add the fragrance oil, which this one's going to be the rose fragrance oil. And I've found that you can wait to put the fragrance oil in anywhere like 130 degrees is probably preferred for larger batches, but for this I found that the smaller batches they tend to hold the fragrance even if I put it in around 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to add the red liquid soap dye, and I'm only going to start out with about 3 drops in there. And it mixes very well, and it's definitely a nice red color. And then I'll probably put just 1 more drop, so 4 drops in total in this batch for the hearts. The more color you add to it, the less opaque your embeds are going to be, because this is a clear soap base, well, partially clear. The oils have it kind of as an off-white. So it's still going to be clear when you melt it, and then whenever it hardens it's going to have that off-white color to it, but the more coloring that you put into the soap base, the better. Alright, so I'm going to take the temperature of this again, and it is 141 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see here. I'll let it cool off a little bit more. And once it cools off fully, I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so it's 140.8 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 60.2 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance oil to this. And since there's not much of the soap in here, the soap base, I'm only going to add about 2.5 milliliters of the rose fragrance oil to this. And then mix it in very well. You don't want the oil to not fully incorporate into your soap, or half of it's going to smell like roses and half of it's just going to smell like soap. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to readjust the camera so that I can pour this into the molds, and so you guys can see it a whole lot better. So I'm going to cut real quick so I can readjust the camera for you guys. Alright, so I'm just going to pour these in without making too much of a mess. And if it hardens up or starts to thicken up on you, just put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. And then stir it really well, and it should have a good consistency to pour again. Okay, so now you can actually spray it with the isopropyl rubbing alcohol to get the air bubbles off the top of it. And then let that sit and let them harden. And once they harden, you can actually pop these out and then you can take off the little excess that got around them. So don't worry if you make too much of a mess. It started to harden up on me right here. So those should turn out perfectly fine. I just have to use just a little knife to kind of get around them. So I'll come back to you guys once I get this cleaned up and we'll start on the strawberries. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to work on the strawberry embeds. And these will probably need a little bit more soap base for this. So I'm going to cut just a little bit more. Because these strawberries are a little bit big. Okay, so I'm going to melt this down, add the colorant, add the fragrance. I'm still going to do like the 2.5 milliliters of the fragrance into this. And I'll let you guys know how much this batch makes once it's melted down. And then we'll work on adding the chia seeds, the coloring, and the fragrance when I get back. Okay, so I got it melted down. It took about 1 minute for all of this to melt down completely. It made 200 milliliters and just at 8 ounces of soap base melted down. I did the 4 drops of dye. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that this is cooled off enough to add in my fragrance oil, and I'll be adding the strawberry shortcake to this. Let's see here, 2.5 milliliters. And these pipettes that I'm using, I got off of Amazon as well. I need to make a reorder of them because I'm running out, and they really come in handy for so many different things when it comes to soap making or pretty much anything in general when adding any fragrance oils or other liquid oils into your recipes, because you can kind of break it down into easier measurements instead of tablespoons and everything. But for the bath bombs, I just use a tablespoon because it's much faster that way. So this should be fully incorporated into the soap base. Now I'm going to add the chia seeds, and this part is really down to your preference of how much you want to add. With the amount that I have, probably just a little handful will be enough. And I tried adding some directly into the molds as well. And in some cases it turned out alright. Some cases it didn't. They kind of all moved to one side. And the soap couldn't really get in front of them. So it kind of made them look all wonky. So I'm just going to mix this up until it cools down a little bit more. This soap base is actually really good too for suspension. You can see the little seeds down in there. It doesn't allow them to necessarily float all the way down to the bottom. It kind of keeps an even layer of each type or each additive that you put into the soap base. It really suspends it into the mixture, so you don't have to keep stirring and stirring when you're pouring. Alright, so I'm going to lower the camera a little bit for you guys to see, and then we'll pour these strawberries in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start pouring. And it's alright if you go over. You can always take that off, just like with the hearts, when they're fully hardened. And usually this soap base only takes about 30 to 45 minutes to harden with these smaller molds. But whenever you use the soap base in a larger mold to make bars, you'll probably have to wait about an hour and a half to 2 hours for it to fully harden, which you should always, depending on what mold you're using. If you're using like a silicone mold on the sides, if you can take it out of the wood block that it's in, and if you squeeze the sides and it's still soft, just leave it out of the block mold as long as it's hard enough to keep its shape. That's usually what I do, and it works out well. And then taking out of the wood base for melt and pour soaps, it helps the sides cool a little bit easier. But if it's cold process soap, you have to leave that for almost overnight, enough for it to harden up and to cure, just enough for you to take it out and then cut it, and then you gotta wait a while longer, a couple weeks later, to actually be able to sell that, so that everything can kind of work its magic. So these are the 2 molds, fully poured. So I'm going to pop out one of these little hearts, and they smell wonderful, just like roses. I need to find some flower embeds that I can use with this rose fragrance, and I also have, I think, another flower type fragrance that I can use with it. But just as an example of one where you can kind of see that it got over poured on the edges, so you can just take the top off with your fingers, or if you have one of the tools to kind of scrape edges of melt and pour soap or other soaps, like a beveler or something, you can use that and just kind of run it along the edge of the heart to kind of make it a little bit more perfected. My OCD is not that bad, so it's not killing me right now, but I'm sure if some of you have bad OCD, it's probably throwing you guys into a tizzy, so I apologize for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget, until January 27th, I think, I'm running the giveaway for the bath bombs that I had made, and the title of that, I think, is it's something to do with giveaway in the title. I can't really think of it right now. It's the one with the pinkish and yellow multicolored soap bomb on it. Soap bomb, oh lord. Bath bomb on it. If you guys check that one out and leave a comment down in the comment section of that video with the name, if I choose your name, I'll send you that bath bomb plus some other soaps and bath bombs that I've made, and sugar scrubs also. So head on over and do that, because I don't want anyone to miss out. It is for subscribers only, so if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and also give this video a like or a thumbs up. It really helps in getting the videos seen a lot easier now that YouTube's kind of switched over to a different way of doing things, I guess. So I'm glad you guys watched this. I hope you're having a wonderful day or a wonderful night, depending on where you are in the world. I hope to see you guys back next time. And also, if you have any anything that you would like to see me do in the next few videos, leave a comment down below giving me some requests. I like to hear from you guys, and the more interaction that I get, the better. I like to try to comment back with everybody's comments that they leave. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening.